My feet so fat I can't get into my roller skates. My neck and chest don't fit anymore. Look at this. It's a stick up. It don't work. I do this at a bank robbery. I look like a fool.
Hey, what's up, pups? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's a show that takes a look at what's happening in pop culture. We try to keep ourselves up to date, whether that's with video games, anime, manga, movies, with the goal of kind of reminiscing about the good old days, and hopefully rekindling that nostalgic spirit and to remind people that we can be entertained for entertainment's sake. But, however, we'll look at what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly that's taken place in pop culture. And, we'll journey on this together and keep ourselves sharp. So thanks for everyone for hanging out. Oh man, I'll tell you what. We had a leak in our apartment. The sprinkler must have gotten frozen during like the different climate changing in Texas down here, and what I mean by that is like the temperature going down and up, and they always warn about it. Make sure water's running and stuff like that, so your pipes don't freeze. But because it was the fire sprinkler, I can't do anything with that. Luckily, it was underneath like the stairwell area, and really, some boxes pretty much got wet in one item, but it doesn't. It's just thing. You know. Because the boxes though were for like my computer and stuff, to where if I needed to ship something back to get it worked on, I could have used that. But oh well. So that kind of threw me for a loop at the end of the day when I was trying to work. Me being the OCD person that I am, was working and yet thinking about that stuff. But it's being taken care of. But I hope everyone's having a good rest of your night. Got some articles up here that we'll take a look at. And before we do, just asking people, if you enjoy the show, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, punch the thumbs up. Right now, we're live on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Specifically over on Rumble, we are working towards meeting the requirements for the creator monetization program over there. So we're just getting our stream hours in, and it'd be nice to check that out and, support me over that way. But I try to give out different platforms that people might enjoy, one over the other. So throwing my net out there so you guys can view whatever you want to in terms of what platform you enjoy. You can view the show that way and just help push the algorithm for the show. So all I can ask for. And then of course, if you want to go beyond that with like subscription and like memberships or whatever, you can do that as well. But humbled and blessed to hang out with you guys tonight. So let's go ahead. Let's hop in here. Got some articles here for you, and this one is interesting. It comes from Video Game Chronicle here, because it makes me again think about the past. And that is Sony is apparently leasing PS5, PS5 Pros, and PS Portal consoles to UK players for a monthly fee. And this is for me is kind of like a blast from the past, because I remember going to our local video game or movie rental store, and you could rent the system. And this just makes me think of that, and it's interesting. And let's hop into this. Also, by the way, this is pretty much like first time reading it sort of thing. So you're learning just as much as I am. So trying to find, what articles catch my eye, what I find interesting. Hopefully it's not clickbait, but whatever. So according to this, you can rent a PS5 starting from $10.99 a month. That I would assume that's pounds. So PlayStation has teamed up with a UK leasing company to let players rent PS5 hardware for a monthly fee. The leasing plan, which has been branded Flex, is a partnership between PlayStation and leasing firm Raylo, as spotted by GameSpot. Players can choose to lease standard or digital PS5 consoles, PlayStation portable handhelds, PlayStation VR2 headsets, or PlayStation 5 Pro console, on a rolling month contract. You can also sign up for 12 months, 24 months, or 36-month terms for lower monthly payments. For example, a PS5 Digital Edition console costs $21.95 per month lease, with the option to cancel at any time. By committing to 12, 24, 36, price is lower to $16.49, $11.99, or $10.99 per month, respectively. Oh, but here you go. Cost to rent each device is as follows. Oh, I thought that it said cancel anytime. I was reading this and thinking that I wouldn't be surprised if they do, if they had like a cancellation fee, you know? There's your different PlayStations that you could rent, apparently. So this is the monthly fee, the flexible fee. Looks like the PlayStation VR 2 is the most expensive one at $51.49. Second being the PS5 Pro. Then the lowest being $13.99. Then for a 36-month contract, $10.99, $11.99, $18.95, $6.49, $18.49. There's an advertisement right there. Players go with the 36-month contract. The total cost is slightly more than what it would cost to buy the console outright. Wow, if it's admitting that it's just a slightly bit more to buy the console, then just buy the console. For example, the total console when leasing a PS5 digital over 36 months, $395.64 versus $389.99 retail price. Naturally, this option is designed for players who can't afford the financial hit of a one-off payment. Or, here's an idea. You order it online, and then a lot of times the people online where you go through allow you to do a payment plan option to where it is not that financial hitting. I want to read this again, though, because the total cost is slightly more. Then down here, it says the total cost when you lease it is $395. Oh, okay. $395.64. My dyslexia probably kicked in. I think I, for some reason, saw that as $359. I was like, how is that more? But that makes sense, and this is $89.99. As a frequently asked question states, players don't own their device when they lease it through Waylo. When the lease ends, they have the choice to return their console, continue paying monthly, or contact Waylo to discuss potentially buying it outright. Okay. A slightly different PS5. I mean, no. I'm trying to see the only thing I can think of is if Raylo like has some sort of warranty along with this, because to me it's like just buy the console and that's it. You can easily find payment plans. In fact, I'm pretty sure you order it straight from Sony, they have payment plans. So I'm trying to see like what's the point exactly. Like I'm trying to think. If anybody has any ideas of why this would be better, let me know in the comments below. A slightly different PS5 rental service was launched in Japan last month by game retailer GEO. The service, which is provided by 400 stores across Japan, lets players rent a PS5 console for either 8 days for $6.62 American, that would be 980 yen, or 15 days for $12.02 before returning it to the store. That's what I'm talking about. That makes me think of the past for sure. Japanese players looking to rent a console will be in for a long wait, however. Of course. According to Automaton, the service is fully booked across Japan, no doubt due to a combination of its surprisingly affordable price and the release of Monster Hunter Wilds. Of course it's going to be like filled up. And that's pretty much the end of the article right there. Yeah. Let me know in the comments, guys, what your thoughts about this is. Like, to me, you might as well just buy the console. And the reason I said that is this actually reminds me of what my dad did back in the day. When we got our very first console, the Nintendo. We learned about the Nintendo. We wanted to play it. We probably played it at a friend's house. We wanted to have one for ourselves. And our video rental store allowed us to rent the system. We rented it. My dad, but we kept obviously wanting to play it, Mario Brothers and all that. And my dad calculated and realized that because we were asking to play it so much, when we would ask, can we rent this system again? Like, he calculated it out to where it would have been cheaper, it'd be cheaper just to buy it. So my dad, being a clever fellow, he went out and bought one. And whenever we got into the mood of asking our parents, like, hey, can we rent the Nintendo? They'd be like, yeah, okay, I think we should be able to do it. He would go out, run some errands. He had the console stashed away. When he would come back in, he would park the car in the garage, and he would make sure that we wouldn't come outside. And he would just get an old bag, open up the box, put it in the bag, and then walked in and pretended like he rented it. And then when the time came for Christmas, he literally put the console back into the packaging and wrapped it. And we opened it. We were none the wiser because we were so happy that we got Nintendo. We got a Nintendo that we just wanted to hook it up right away. So we didn't even think about checking to see if it was, I don't think it would be shrink wrapped or anything, but there was stickers on it. So my dad was a genius. Sneaky, but a genius. But yeah, that made me think about this article. Made me think about that from the past. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone go off. So hopping on over to the next one, coming from That Park Place. So Sweet Baby Inc. So if you guys know who Sweet Baby Inc. is, you'll know what this article's probably going to be about. But Sweet Baby connected Wings Interactive funding controversies exposed as company wipes its online presence. So this is a recent article, March 16th. So the controversy surrounding Wings Interactive, an alleged indie game funding group linked to Sweet Baby Inc. in Landfall Games, has taken a new turn. In a recent report, Gothic Therapy, hosted by Master of the TDS, Riding Raven, revealed a crucial admission from Wings Interactive's own co-founder, confirming financial backing for Landfall Games. Hello? Oh, thought my roomie knocked on my door. Probably the rats from upstairs. What's up, Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer, over on Rumble? I'll probably rent for GTA 6. Dude, I stopped giving a crap about GTA. I tried to play with some friends for GTA 5 and didn't keep up with it. Didn't even beat the game. I don't know. I fell out of it. I fell out of the craze. Honestly, the last one I played is Liberty Cities. And I know some people, and I know a lot of people love San Andreas, but I moved on to other stuff. Let me know. I can probably get a hold of that. Of course, I would want it to be uncensored. People want to see me stream that game, let me know. So shortly after these revelations, Wings Interactive has seemingly gone into full damage control, deleting accounts, scrubbing records, and refusing to answer questions. So for months, Gothic Therapy has been investigating Wings Interactive's true funding sources, uncovering deep connections that contradict the company's claim of being an independent indie game fund. Their previous report detailed how, one, Wings Interactive was registered under a different name Vingar Interactiva AB. And let me move my cursor out of the way. Shared an address with Landfall Games. Landfall Games co-founder Pete Henriksen was also a vice CEO at Wings Interactive, despite not publicly listing this role. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair previously sat on Wings Interactive's selection board, raising questions about potential narrative influence in indie gaming. See, this is what I don't get. Why the hell would you hire a consulting firm to hear what they have to say about needing a narrative influence in indie games? If you're confident in your my sorry, my frickin' hey, we seem to be okay. As much as I'm happy that Spectrum updated their network, they should be done by now. And I just saw my thing hiccuping, and it might be Rumble Studio as well, which get their crap together. Rumble Studio, I'm trying to help you, and then you can't give me a solid RTMP connection. Ted Cruz says Liberty City Stories. Yeah, just overclock the PS2 emulation if you're going to stream that. I also heard there's a mod for the PSP that adds right analog function. Yeah, if I was going to do anything, I would look into like getting the best of the best sort of thing, and if I have to emulate it, I will. I'm like paranoid now. Yeah, I had some frame drops there. I don't think I can. Let me check something here real quick. See if I can do something here. There's been some stuttering skipping, but you're still live. Okay. Yeah, we got in the yellow there for a little bit. I could try to turn off my OBS and then Rumble would still be live. There's been some stuttering skipping, but you're still live. Okay. You probably heard my playback there on
There
accident.
for a little bit.
All right, I'll keep an eye on it and then hopefully. I mean, they said they would start like supposedly working on the system at like 8. Whoops. Lower my bit rate just a little bit. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll continue it. We'll, we'll see what happens, and if I cut out, then chances are I probably will just call it for the rest of the night, and hopefully it should be solid. Like Cree says, if you claim your 100% support for the state of Israel, I'm sure your internet issues will go away. Anyway, Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair previously sat on Wing's Interactive Selection Board, raising questions about potential narrative influence in indie gaming. Riot Games contributed $1 million to Wings Interactive in 2021, suggesting a much larger network of industry backing. So these discoveries led Gothic Therapy to assert that Wings Interactive was not an independent funding group, but rather a shadow publisher that allowed Landfall Games to exert control over indie development without direct attribution. Smoking Gun, Wings Interactive's own co-founder, speaks. So, in their latest report, Gothic Therapy uncovered an even bigger revelation, a direct admission from Audrey LaPrince, co founder of Wings Interactive, confirming that Landfall Games bankrolled Wings Interactive in its early days. In her own words, this is how I thought about Wings, and I'm like, I'm going to go get the money and give it directly to the woman who make games. Just cut everything else, just focus on that. And I was trying to make it work with women in games, France talking to the French banks and stuff, and it didn't go very well. And at the same time, Peter from Landfall Studios here in Sweden was trying to do the same. And then we kept bumping into each other and like, it's not working. And then to do it together, and then it started. Got the first investment from Landfall Games, and then Riot just also gave us $1 million to invest in different projects like a few weeks ago or months ago. This contradicts prior claims that Wings was an independent fund and suggests that Landfall Games may have used Wings Interactive to discreetly fund and control indie games while maintaining the illusion of separation. The Gothic Therapy report also highlights that Wings Interactive motivations may have been more than financial. In another statement from a panel featuring Wings Interactive, Kasia Curran, the goals of companies like Wings are tied directly to combating Gamergate. I don't think incidents such as Gamergate are really a coincidence, Curran said, noting that 97% of game investors and 80% of game developers are male. Yeah, and these people need to accept that. This is the thing that's so annoying. Is that it's like, you see this Like, you see this, game investors, game developers, and gamers are like majority male. It's like, yeah, like, honestly, it's to be expected at this point. So, like, just accept the fucking fact. Oh my gosh. And the truth is no one really cares, like, if women want to play games. Like, fine, whatever. But it's these people who weep and cry when they're in a Call of Duty lobby. Like, these people would not survive if they were in the Call of Duty lobbies back in the day. You had to develop tough skin. Got to develop thick skin. And these people can't do it. But the real truth of the matter is that these are tourists. These are people who don't care about the industry in any way. These are people that said, why is there a field where the majority of it is male? There should be females in there, and they should have a voice to hear, blah, 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 blah. And so they infiltrate it and they bastardize it and they ruin established franchises, all so that they could say, well, at least I went in there and I was progressive about this. And that's the disgusting thing. And it needs to be removed immediately. The weeds need to be ripped out. The circus tent needs to be burned down. And accept the fucking fact that majority of people who play video games are males. That's fine. Because there are areas where the majority of people are women. You don't see males demanding that there be more male representation because, well, you're part of the problem. You're a cis white dude, Oh my gosh. Just go away. Dude, this day has just gotten away from me. I'm like, now I'm annoyed with the internet connection issue too. Oops, skipped a little bit. So God Therapy argues that this proves Wings Interactive wasn't just funding indie developers, but actually shaping game narratives to push an ideological agenda. They claim the Wings Interactive was using its funding power to influence game content under the guise of supporting, quote, marginalized creators. Yep, exactly. Wings Interactive's disappearance from the internet. So following these revelations, Wings Interactive has systematically erased its online presence. God Therapy reports that 1. Wings deleted its X account for a time before returning. Its TikTok and Blue Sky accounts have been removed. The official Instagram has been set to private. Employees' names, board members, and selection committee members have been scrubbed from the website, and news articles and gaming pages, including a connection to Netflix games, have been removed. This mass deletion has only fueled further speculation that Wings Interactive is hiding something rather than being transparent about its operations. As part of their investigation, Gothic Therapy has also uncovered ties between Audrey LaPrince and government-funded game projects. LaPrince has co-founded the Game Backers, indie studios that received financial support from the French government. Additionally, she sits on multiple funding boards that distribute government grants to video games. Gothic Therapy raises an important question. Did Wings Interactive also receive government-backed funding? Proof that Game Bakers received funding from the French government. And then there's the Game Bakers right there. While they acknowledge that definitive proof is lacking given the company's attempts to scrub the internet of itself, the rapid disappearance of records suggests someone does not want these questions answered. Convenient timing. The Game with Wings sales. Another suspicious move noted by Gothic Therapy is the timing of Wings Interactive reemergence on social media right before launching their annual Game with Wings sale. This is an event promoting games from female developers. Gothic Therapy argues that this was a strategic move to shift the conversation away from their funding sources and back towards a feel-good indie show. They were off social media until a couple days before this event became this event because this became more than just about selling games. It became about controlling the narrative, Master of the TDS said. And the final challenge to Wings Interactive. So Gothic Therapy ends their report with a direct challenge to Wings Interactive and Sweet Baby Inc., urging them to address these findings rather than hide. If you had nothing to hide, all you would need to do is address the claims, he said. He makes it clear that deleting online traces and avoiding transparency will not stop the investigation. With archive records and ongoing scrutiny, Gothic Therapy promises to continue exposing the truth about the financial and ideological connections shaping indie gaming. The situation surrounding Wings Interactive has escalated significantly. What was once a quiet indie fund is now at the center of an industry-wide controversy with accusations of hidden financial backers, ideological influences, and a coordinated cover-up. So with Wings Interactive refusing to engage in meaningful dialogue and instead choosing to scrub its existence, the controversy is unlikely to die down anytime soon. Gothic Therapy has vowed to continue investigating, ensuring that gamers and developers alike can make informed decisions about the forces shaping the gaming industry. So there you go with that one. Interesting. Here's an article that I found funny because I just updated my driver. Is the Tech for Gamers. Apparently, NVIDIA promised a black screen fix in GeForce driver 572.70, but issue persists. Luckily, I haven't, knock on wood, ran into that. So between melting connectors, limited stock, and disappointing generational uplifts, NVIDIA's latest graphic card series has faced more than a few challenges so far. The recently released RTX 5070 is no better, marking one of the company's worst GPU releases to date. Making matters worse, NVIDIA users have recently faced various software-related problems. One prevalent issue is the constant crashing and black screen occurrences that many users have faced on graphics cards like the RTX 5080 and 5090. But NVIDIA's latest 572.70 driver claims to address the problem. You may ask yourself, why does it matter? NVIDIA is typically praised for its driver stability, but this reputation has been flipped upside down with the RTX 50 lineup. So this new driver features support from the recently launched RTX 5070. Moreover, it ensures Rockstar's recent update for GTA 5 functions as intended across all NVIDIA graphics cards. Similarly, the new update ensures compatibility with Fragpunk. The gaming updates end here, so NVIDIA's black screen fix is undoubtedly the biggest part of this update. According to the What's Fixed section, certain NVIDIA GPUs were booting directly to a black screen when using a DisplayPort. Users also reported black screens and blue screens of death during gaming sessions. And they had previously attempted to address these problems in the 572.60 driver, but it somehow made things worse. As per reports, games with multi-frame generations were most affected. We've got some images here via Reddit. NVIDIA claims these problems have now been addressed, but users on Reddit have shared plenty of negative feedback. In fact, many claim the driver update itself led to a black screen during installation. Others have pointed to specific examples, such as Alan Wake 2 and Cyberpunk 2077, sharing that multiple games are currently crashing upon booting. The new update has also been unable to solve blue screens of death, further frustrating users. Some users have even mentioned the driver crashing when waking the PC up from sleep. Much as the feedback makes it clear that Nvidia has a myriad of problems to iron out before it can live up to its own claims. While Nvidia has had multiple attempts at fixing everything users have complained about, it seems further updates are needed to get the Blackwell gaming lineup on par with its predecessor. Yeah, I have a 4070 and I like it, but it's yeah, I don't know. And I think it was Intel. I have an Intel, and I know remember reading somewhere that Intel's kind of dropping the ball in terms of like being good. I've got the RTX 470 Ti. I do video editing for Robbins. Pretty good rig. I don't know. I like my rig overall, but like in the end, I mean, part of me just it leads to a whole nother. But whatever. Well, hopefully Nvidia fixes their crap. Right now, I'm doing all right. I mean, I may have ran into this, but I'm pretty good at keeping my drivers up to date and BIOS. I should probably do a clean install, really, because that's what some people say is get rid of every driver and then just have the one. All right, hopping back to Video Game Chronicles. Some Last of Us news. The Last of Us creator cast doubt on a third game in the series. Don't bet on there being more of The Last of Us, says Naughty Dog president Neil Cuckman. Naughty Dog's president has cast doubt on the future of its Last of Us game franchise, telling fans not to bet on there being a third series entry. Neil Druckmann has previously said that there could be a third Last of Us game, as he thinks there's more story to tell. He has now suggested that might not be the case. I was waiting for this question, Druckmann said when Variety raised the prospect of a third game during a recent interview. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of Last of Us. This could be it. I mean, after the abomination that was The Last of Us Part 2, you pretty much ruined a franchise that could have kept on going for quite a while. But for the sake of woke ideology, you sacrificed it to the demon god. Druckmann said in April of 2021 that a story outline has been written for a potential third game in the series, but that it wasn't currently being developed. And he seemingly hinted at plans for a third Last of Us game in January 2023 when he told The Hollywood Reporter, I think there's more story to tell. Then last February, Druckmann confirmed that he had a concept for a third game in mind and that he thought there would be one more chapter to the story. Speaking in Grounded 2, a documentary detailing the development of Last of Us Part 2, Neil said that he had wondered for years about a potential third game, but could never think of something that excited him until now. I don't have a story, but I do have that concept that to me is as exciting as one, as exciting as two. What exactly was exciting about two? Cuckman? Yep. That's what I like to call. Let me check something real quick. Latest comment on a potential third chapter in the story came during an interview focused on the second season of HBO's Last of Us TV adaptation, which premieres on April 13th. The show's debut season covered the events of the first Last of Us, which was released at the tail end of the PS3 generation in June of 2013, while the second season covers part of The Last of Us Part 2, which debuted for PS4 7 years later. Craig Mazin told Variety that he and fellow showrunner Druckmann currently expect to tell the whole The Last of Us 2 story, or The Last of Us story, over the course of 3 or 4 seasons. Feels like we've got 2 more seasons after the second one, he said. It's getting harder to make because every episode gets big. You don't want to wait 4 years for a 17 episode finish or whatever it is. Well, they didn't want to wait. People waited for The Last of Us Part 2 and then you shat all over it. And you got super butthurt when those leaks came out showcasing on how much you bastardize your own series. But there you go. And honestly, Last of Us is overrated. Like, I thought the first one was a really, really good game. I wouldn't personally call it a masterpiece or anything like that. But then again, I hardly call a lot of stuff masterpieces. But it was a good game. But Part 2, oh gosh, that game was garbage. We also had an article from Tech for Gamers that probably is going to say the same thing. I don't know if it would provide for us any new information. Outright stated that fans should not be on more entries in the series, should not bet on more entries in the series. Suggested that there is a chance Last of Us Part 2 will be the series' final outing, with Naughty Dog exploring new avenues in the future. Interestingly, the director previously stated that he had found a concept for the third game. It was 1 year ago, so it's possible something has changed at Naughty Dog leading to this doubts. Maybe they looked at like what was like the returns of all The Last of Us Part 2. GameStop, like I remember GameStop was like not accepting any more returns of the game because they were getting it because it was just coming back. And it sucked too because I ordered like the special edition, I think, of The Last of Us Part 2 because I was like, why not? I didn't look up anything. I hardly look up anything about any new game that I find interesting. And yeah, I played through that game and I returned it right away. Oh boy, it was terrible. Yeah, but it looks like this article kind of says the same thing. How we doing internet-wise? Has it been stable? Has it been garbage? I haven't been disconnected, so my apologies. Again, my apologies to the people out there. I usually try to have good, solid connection, but I mean, they've supposedly... Technically, the network update should have been done, but this could also be on Rumble's end too, which they expect people to use Rumble Studios. Our TMPs need to be solid. So that Park Place, hopping back over here, BlackRock ditches DEI quotas after Trump crackdown, but is it really? But is it real or just another corporate diversity rebrand? I'm going with the latter. I guarantee you they rebranded. They're not giving up that easily. BlackRock has been determined to bastardize everything and push this whole retarded. So I think they're just repackaging it and rebranding it. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has long been one of the biggest financial backers of DEI initiatives. Under its previous policies, the firm directly tied corporate funding and internal hiring to DEI quotas, ensuring that a significant portion of its investment favored companies that aligned with these ideological goals. However, in a stunning reversal, BlackRock has now announced that it will no longer pursue aspirational workforce representation goals and is merging its DEI diversion into a broader talent and culture department. Ted Cruz says, "Solid, brah." Okay, well, on my end. I'm slowly seeing the frames going down. So while this is a major win in the fight against corporate social engineering, the question remains: is BlackRock truly abandoning DEI, or is it simply rebranding? I'm gonna say rebranding. According to a memo sent by BlackRock CEO Larry Fink and other executives, the firm's previous DEI targets expired in 2023 and it will not be renewed. Marks a departure from its early pledges to increase representation quotas for specific demographic groups. Additionally, hiring managers will no longer be required to interview diverse slates of candidates for open positions, a practice that has been criticized for prioritizing identity over merit. I agree. It's absolutely retarded. This shift comes amid sweeping changes in the regulatory landscape. Following his inauguration, Trump signed a series of executive orders targeting DEI programs across both public and private sectors. Baller. That was amazing. While portions of these orders have been challenged in court, companies like BlackRock have already moved to adjust their policies. Yeah, probably because they're just going to try to find a way to get around whatever Trump labeled, one of those things where it's like, oh, if we rebrand it and it's name it differently, it's not DEI anymore. Like, I guarantee you that's like probably one of the like clever things they think they're so, happy about. It's like, we'll just name it something else and it will be good. Has anyone read, like, I haven't. That's one of the things where I don't get really interested in is to actually like read what the executive order says. I'm wondering if it actually, or whatever, like the legislation or whatever. I wonder if it like was written broad enough to where it could kind of umbrella like something that maybe BlackRock might do, to where it's like, well, if we rename it differently, then we can, slide through it. But then again, is that overreaching? Like in terms of the government, which, I don't want that. Like, to me, the government is the GIMP from Pulp Fiction. You need the GIMP to watch your your captured fellow as you sodomize a very powerful black man in the back room. And then when the GIMP's job is done, you put him back into the box. That is how I see the government. You come out when you need to come out to solve a problem that we need, and then you go back, and then you go away. For years, BlackRock imposed financial penalties on companies that didn't meet its DEI standards, using its massive investment power to enforce ideological compliances. Its ESG policies often meant that businesses had to prioritize diversity quotas to secure better investment terms. In one case, BlackRock's credit facility terms were explicitly tied to meeting racial and gender diversity benchmarks. With this new policy shift, the firm's ability to force compliance may be fading. Real or a facelift? While BlackRock's announcement suggests a retreat from its aggressive DEI agenda, there are reasons to remain skeptical. The firm has not eliminated its diversity initiatives outright. It just simply renamed them. The old DEI division is now folded into a new, quote, talent and culture team. And key DI figures, such as global head of diversity Michelle Gatson-Williams, remain in leadership roles. Further, BlackRock's own talent reports still emphasize demographic breakdowns in hiring leadership. While the firm has removed details representing statistics from its website, historical data shows that its hiring practices have been heavily shaped by DEI objectives. With this factor in mind, possibility remains that BlackRock is quietly continuing its previous strategies under a new name, as other companies like Disney have seemingly gone in response to public backlash. Or done, not gone, done, and similar backlash. The rollback of its DEI commitments is a significant moment in the push to restore a merit-based workforce. Yeah, almost like it seems to work. A merit-based workforce. But what would I know? For years, major corporations have prioritized hiring based on identity rather than qualifications, with BlackRock leading the charge. Now, with regulatory and political pressure mounting, the tide appears to be turning. Big question is whether this is a clear shift. I don't think so. Or simply a strategic maneuver to avoid scrutiny. No, I wouldn't even say that either. I mean, what Fink was like very passionate about this, if I'm not mistaken. Like, these people want this because that is the way they control it. Ever so leading us closer and closer to that end times. There is no way they'll just stop it. They are for sure rebranding it in some way, shape, and form. The war on woke investing isn't over, but BlackRock's latest move proves that the pressure is working. Investors and the public must remain vigilant to ensure companies aren't just swapping out labels while maintaining the same practices behind the scenes. I agree. Got to stay vigilant, stay strong. At least with Trump, it's an overreach around, but as a libertarian, I would still like less centralized power. Yeah, I agree. A quick check over here. Solid. Now. Okay. I'm gonna. All right. Next. God of War creator adores Starfield. Says it features the best narrative in single player game. I believe this is Jaffe, and the guy is insane. Straight up insane. David Jaffe, the creator of God of War, praised Starfield, calling it one of the best single player narratives despite players' mixed reaction to the game. Dude, I remember this game coming out and the whole pronouns thing happening, and this sucker just died off. So I don't know what this freak is talking about. And give credit to where credit's due, since he did create the original God of War, but he has got the brain rot bad and possibly cannot be recovered. So Bethesda's first new IP received mixed reviews from gamers. Many complained that Starfield felt somewhat barren and was subpar compared to developers' other release. Honestly, a lot of these studios and stuff, like, their newer games suck. Like, let's be real. Like, the studios we remember back in the day making really solid games, that's dying. That is dying. And we need to bring that fire back, and we need to bring that passion back. And if we have to remove, like, people already in there that are bastardizing it, so be it. While gamers think otherwise, the God of War creator has nothing but praise for the game. In a new post, he said that he adored Starfield, or perhaps featured the best narrative among single-player games. While one could argue that Starfield gets more hate than it deserves, claiming it has the best narrative might be a little over the top. Several other games have outstanding narratives, some of them being other Bethesda games. Quoting a praise tweet from Starfield, David Jaffe complimented the game. However, the replies didn't seem to agree with such a bold take from a game designer himself. Does he? I mean, but does he even have the game designer eye anymore? I feel it's been like taken away. I feel like it's been replaced with PDS.
It's going to be a
the
fag.
first time he complimented the game. Previously, the God of War creator stated that Starfield was one of his top 3 games of all time. He also added that the console war is no reason to keep one from enjoying this game. It's faced a lot of backlash from fans because it is excessively long and has not much to do. Even the Shattered Space DLC failed to add what was originally missing from the game. There was a DLC? I didn't know that. Holy crap. This game sucks. I don't even have to play it to know. I can feel it in my bones. Bethesda developers have admitted that Starfield was flawed. But again, that didn't stop them from releasing it. But they're optimistic about heading for a sequel. If the game if the first one sucked, why do you feel like a sequel will redeem it? Dude, delusion. These people do not care. Even going ahead to saying it will be one hell of a game. Oh my gosh. These fools. These fools. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All these people are retarded. I'm kind of retarded. That's all I can say about that. So Video Game Chronicle has an article here talking about how apparently Discord is in talks becoming a public company. Gaming voice chat giant will potentially go public this year. Platform, which was founded in 2015 by Jason Kitron, grew popular with gamers in the last decade due to its ease of use, its integration with games, and the fact that it's free. In the years since, Discord has grown into a hub for thousands of different communities, largely replacing traditional web forums. According to reports, the decision to go public follows the election of Donald Trump, leading a market that is more friendly to tech giants looking to make these type of moves. We understand there's a lot of interest around Discord's future plans, but we do not comment on rumors or speculation, the company said in a statement shared with the Financial Times. Our focus remains on delivering the best possible experience for our users and building a strong, sustainable business. And according to FT, Discord was last valued at $15 billion. While originally a PC-only service, in recent years, it's made its way natively on both the PlayStation and Xbox console, allowing players to chat with their friends and interact with groups across all three platforms. Wait, that's the article? Okay, what does it mean by going public? Did it even did this article even explain the decision to go public? It just says the decision to go public. What does that entail? I am indeed retarded. This person just says on to the next, I suppose. Yeah, what the heck? Oh, well, that was very anticlimactic, so never mind that. But we're getting to kind of like the 1 hour I usually do, so let's hop into the big one here. That is, and I got two articles here, apparently from Android Authority and TechCrawler. So Nintendo's lawyers may have just killed ROM sharing for good. X to doubt on that. You can't, if it's on the internet, people will find a way. So Nintendo's latest legal victory has sweeping implications for the industry. Nintendo's anti-piracy efforts may have just hit a crescendo, with one of the highest courts in Europe handing down a decision with sweeping implications for the industry. After a multi-year-long battle, the French Supreme Court has ruled in Nintendo's favor against file-sharing sites 1fishier. This comes after several appeals from Fishier's parent company, D-Storage. Ultimately, the judge sided with Nintendo, and now file-sharing companies across Europe must comply with requests to remove pirated content or face serious fines and pay compensation to right holders. 1fishier is not a website focused on games or piracy, but rather a general purpose file sharing site with a freemium model. However, that site refused to remove infringing content after demands from Nintendo, leading to the lawsuit. And this is what's bullshit, because Nintendo has gone after people that kind of done that, deals with piracy and stuff like that. Now, I know some people actually, in my opinion, did some stuff that probably should have not have done and gone after it. But I mean, Nintendo has gotten some got major hate, really all the way back from the biggest one being MU Paradise, to where it's like, we want to preserve these games. What are you guys going to do about it? Well, we don't want to. Well, it's like, well, fuck you then, And then Nintendo, will have these versions of these games on their Game Pass or the eShops or whatever, and some of them are garbage ports when the emulation and ROMs are perfect, almost 1-to-1. And emulation's gotten to the point where it can be 1-to-1. And I thought I remember reading that Nintendo's got caught, I think in the video game museum or something that they have, of using emulation. So it's all a bunch of bullshit. So a statement from Nintendo implores gamers not to download pirated copies of Nintendo games, as this increases the risks that this will interfere with the functionality and experience that playing legitimate Nintendo games on authentic Nintendo hardware provides. However, the vast majority of retro gamers are not available on modern hardware, raising issues for game preservation. Yep. This is just the latest in Nintendo's long battle against piracy, which has largely targeted emulation and piracy for the Nintendo Switch. And yet Nintendo has said that emulation is legal. This is the thing. This is retarded. Last year saw the high-profile shutdown of Tropic, the developers of the Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu. Despite this, several forks have sprung up, seemingly removing the copyright infringement element of the emulator to focus nominally on, quote, homebrew games. Nintendo's efforts haven't stopped emulation as a whole, and it never will. It never will. As even Nintendo itself admits that emulation is legal. Instead, it has targeted websites sharing copyrighted materials such as ROMs. The company has also gone after Switch modders, which modify original Nintendo Switch hardware to download and run pirated games. It's one thing if it's a system that you bought and you modded it yourself. You can do whatever you want with your system. I'd assume. Fucking mine. I bought it. I can do whatever I want with it. I could buy a Switch, go into Nintendo, outside of Nintendo, headquarters, and break it in front of them if I wanted to. Retarded, but I can do that. Or at least I should have the right to. Who knows? Maybe there's some retarded law that doesn't allow you to do that. I say that because I remember watching videos when the Wii came out, people buying Wii's and then breaking it in front of people who were waited to get the Wii. So the Nintendo Switch underpowered hardware has, this going pretty hard on Nintendo, which is, I'm fine with it. Has proved relatively easy to emulate on modern devices, and Nintendo may be gearing up efforts to shut down piracy ahead of the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 later this year. Oh, apparently that's the rest of the article. This person says, it makes me hate Nintendo more. I do not doubt you there. See if Trek Crawler has anything new to add. After the site refused to remove pirated games despite multiple requests, general purpose file sharing site, not specifically. And honestly, my first instinct is remove these pirated sites. Hey, I didn't upload it. We're just a file sharing stuff. I don't know. Let's see what else. This is happening all over Europe, but again, it's the internet. If Nintendo thinks they can take down the internet, more than retarded. Internet is going to be here forever till the good Lord comes and starts going ham on the world. 1fishier was the most reliable link for Switch games. Mega Up and Sense are solid, but not as comprehensive. Yeah. You're a joke! Cruise over on Rumble. The thing is that people are just going to shift somewhere else. Exactly what the past article said. They went after the people who made the Yuzu emulator. Tons of forks of it came up. It's stupid. Nintendo is trying to kill a Hydra. And they keep going after not the main head, but the main head is the internet, and you can't. Internet's too deep now. You can't turn it off. Someone will figure out how to turn it back on. Yeah, it looks like this article pretty much is stating the same stuff. Ruling could signal the beginning of a more strict enforcement across Europe, making it clear that the fight against illegal game sharing is far from over. Have something to add? Let us know in the comments below. Do I have something to add? Let me see. Let me check my stash of video clips here. Yeah, that's what I think. Nintendo's a fucking joke. And it sucks too, like, cause I mean, it just sucks when you see like these developers, these studios, and just all this stuff. Just like back in the day, we didn't have to worry about this shit. So ridiculous. Like we could just get good games, didn't have to worry about anything. We didn't have to hate the company. And now like we're just getting all this crap that just makes us hate the company. Hate the company. Now some people will go ham and just boycott them outright. Like I don't do that because to me at some point like it'll get to a point where you have to boycott everything because this company is kind of related to this one and you swore not to support that one, so then you have to not support that one, and then you find out that this company kind of does that, it like webs out. And to me,